Today I'm going to be showing you how I created my dupe version of this Dawson Company $639 tray table. Come on. To start this project, I'll be using Cement-All Rapid Set Concrete Mix, concrete pigment powder, water, and my mold. I'll attach a link to all products used in the description below. Here I'm adding my concrete pigment into my concrete mix. This I don't have measurements for, I just eyeball it. When adding water to your concrete mix, make sure you gradually add small amounts of water, only because you want to avoid a runny consistency. If it's too runny, it's just going to weaken the strength of your concrete. Here I'm just sticking my hand in the mix and making sure I smooth out any lumps, and if I find any rocks or pieces of gravel, I just remove those. When I add concrete to my mold, I like to place it on some sort of surface, a level surface that I can pick up and kind of slam against the table to remove these bubbles out. You'll see what I'm talking about as we go along in the process. Unfortunately, I used foam, and when I tried to slam it against the table, it was just too light and wasn't working, so eventually I switched it out to wood. I happen to overfill the mold with concrete, so I'm just leveling it out and removing any excess. You can use a hammer for this next step, but I like to bang around the concrete mold in order to remove any bubbles that are stuck in the concrete. And you'll see them come to the surface as you're banging around the mold. Make sure you allow your concrete to dry for a minimum of 4 hours. That's a minimum, preferably longer. In this next step, I'll be attaching a piece of wood to the bottom of this concrete tray. I have a 1/4 inch piece of plywood here, but I would strongly recommend 1/2 inch plywood. And since I don't have 1/2 inch, I'm going to be cutting out 2 pieces of wood and gluing them together to achieve the 1/2 inch. It's now time to cut out our base. Now I'm using a jigsaw to cut this out, but more importantly, I'm using a wood scrolling blade. I feel it makes the job a lot easier, especially if you're cutting smaller pieces of wood with round edges. Here I'm just showing you how I cut out those 2 pieces and glued them together in order to get a 1/2 inch base. We'll now go ahead and use our liquid nails to attach the concrete to the wood. This piece of wood is what's going to prevent your tray from moving and make it stable. This is how we'll be attaching this piece of wood to our base, but before we do, let's go ahead and sand these edges. To secure our 3x8 wood piece, we're going to be using corner L brackets in 3 inches long to secure it in place. Here I'm protecting my concrete tray with some blue tape because I'm about to spray paint the base for a more polished look. And this is what it turned out after spray painting it, and I think it turned out pretty nice. Unfortunately, I used the wrong color. I meant to use this color by Behr in soft iron. However, I had this other spray paint sitting right next to it, and I picked the classic noir instead, and I spray painted it in the noir. And I'm just too lazy to paint it the right color. Anyway, this is how it turned out. I am so happy and pleased with this. It is unmovable, which is what I wanted. It looks beautiful and so designer. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to subscribe to get more videos like this.